Today we're going to take a marble, turn it into an eyeball. So here I have a marble illustration that I did. And if you need to see this tutorial, you can find that on my channel, how to make a marble in Procreate. Link will be in the description below. And I'm going to take this marble, which you can see is in a group, several layers. And I'm going to, first I need to decide what kind of eye I want to do. Is it going to be like a dragon style eye, human style eye with a pupil, or is the pupil going to be like long and narrow? For this, we'll go like a dragon style. So I'll show you how to do both, but I'm going to make this a dragon style one in the end. So I'm going to make a new layer. I'm going to get black, and I'm going to make sure I'm on the right brush. So I'm going to go to monoline. I'm going to make kind of this narrow football shape in the middle of the eye. Fill that in. And already the image has changed. I'm just going to erase this a little bit down here. Now, if I was going to do a human eye, I would just draw a circle in the middle. Fill that in. And then I would also take the blending tool and very small brush and kind of, still too big, pull out from where the pupil would be to get that kind of black, I don't know, web or line feel that's in an eyeball where the pupil is. If you want to see a short version of this, I do have a short drawing a human eye. So I'm going to hide that, go back to the dragon eye. Now, if I wanted to, I could do the same thing, put a little bit of a wrong layer. Put a little bit of those little streaks coming out of it, but I don't want to do that for this. I just want to leave it like that. So now I'm going to make a new layer on top. I'm going to keep the eye red. If you want to change the color of your eye, you can go to the marble layer and tap the group, tap the thumbnail, flatten it. Go to the adjustments menu, use saturation and brightness. With the U, you can change the eye color to whatever you want. Like I said, I'm gonna go with this bluish purple instead of that red. So back to the top and that blank layer we created earlier. Now I'm gonna figure out what kind of skin I want the dragon to have. So I'm gonna make it kind of a navy blue type of shade. And I'm gonna make the eyelids right now. So on that new layer, I'm just going to draw across and hold. Same thing, do it across the bottom. And depending on how much of this eye you want to be open will depend on how much or how wide apart you make these. Drop fill those. And before I go any further, I want to do the rest of the eye, the white of the eye. So I'm going to hide this real quick, make a new layer below it. I'm going to get white, and I'm also going to turn off my background color so I can actually see where the white's going to go. So I'm just going to draw the eye shape. And make sure that's underneath the eyeball itself, or the marble. Fill that in white, and I've got a leak somewhere. Check this corner. There we go. turn on alpha lock. Now I'm going to use a gray, but I like doing the gray to be a kind of a tint of the color that the eye actually is. So with that and alpha lock on, I'm just going to go across the top and the bottom of the eye. And then I'm going to hit this with a Gaussian blur to give it kind of a more rounded, more of a depth feel. There we go. Let's turn that eyelid back on, or the eyelids. And normally I would do the inside of the eye first, so I'm gonna have to do some resizing here. So stretch that out with the freeform tool. Bring it in. And I'll just erase the rest of that white. Like I said, normally I do the white first, but I forgot to this time, so I'm just gonna erase that. Erase a little bit of the white. Erase a little bit of the black. I'm gonna go back to the white again and put a little dark tone underneath the eyelid. And I could be redoing this video and editing it, but I'm just gonna let it go the way it is with a few little mistakes. I'm gonna hit that with a Gaussian blur to add some more depth to it. And there we go. Okay, let's turn the background back on. And right here. Go to the top and make a new layer. And I'm gonna fill that little white in, but you may or may not have. And I'm gonna start drawing on this layer, the new layer, kind of around the eye or where the head or face would be. So first I'm starting with dark, and I'm gonna do it around the edge of the eyelid too, so when I blend it, it'll kind of go together. I'm gonna do it on the top also. And I'm gonna just draw what I think the body would look like, or the face. I'm gonna go really dark. And I'm also gonna go really light with a light shade. Make my brush a little bigger. And you can notice I'm kind of just sketching this in because I am going to hit this with a blur also. Might even put a touch of yellow in there just to be different. Let's hit that with a Gaussian blur, see what it looks like. And this is the part that gets kind of repetitive. You kind of just have to keep working it until it's the way you want it to look. You might even have to make multiple layers. I find it easier to make multiple layers. So after this round of this dark, I'll probably add a layer on top. So I'm gonna blur that. Let's add a layer. I'll try to get this eye to look like it's part of the body. So I'm gonna just fill in around it. Blur that. There we go. Now it's starting to kind of blend into the eye itself. So it all looks like it's one right now. So one more layer. This is where I'm going to add some more of the light. here. Blur it. And I'm going to change that background color to that dark blue. So it really starts to become one. And then one more step, or probably wind up being multiple steps, but I'm going to go to textures, actually materials, and use this one called Furno or Forno. I'm not really sure the name of it, but it kind of has a scale kind of feel. You can use any texture you want, but I'm going to go to a really dark blue and make a new layer. And using it really big to start with, I'm going to put some scales in here. I'm going to go smaller. So again, this is all your preference. I'm going to make some of these really light too, so I'm going to get a lighter shade. Actually, I'm not on a lighter shade, but that one was working really good. There we go. I'm going to work it to the way you like it. And you can see, you might see it's getting into the eye here. And I could either erase there or go into my layers, tap the thumbnail, clipping mask it, and since it's above my face layer, it'll just clip to that and it'll get rid of everything in the eye. And you can keep working this as much as you want. It's really up to you. I'm gonna do one more thing in the eyeball here. You might want to put like a little reflection of 2 dots kind of to really bring it to life. And one more step. I'm going to make a layer underneath the eyelids. Get the dark blue. And right along the edge of that eyelid, I'm going to make it almost like a shadow to really make the eye pop. And there you go. Took a glass marble, turned it into an eyeball. Hope this video wasn't too confusing. Hope you found it useful. I know I rambled a lot. Thanks for liking, subscribing, and I'll see you next time.